Hi everyone, and welcome to the fourth part of my video series, where I'm going to be highlighting the different ways that the traditional ops run it model may be slowing your time to market and costing you lost potential revenue in the process. On the opposite side of that equation, the series highlights how you build it, you run it, can improve your time to market and unlock enormous untapped value for your organization. By now, we've already covered a lot of the different ways that you build it, you run it can unlock value, so I'm not going to labour on this point. But if you're keen to check out some further details, including how you build it, you run it has helped an organisation realise $41 million of existing untapped net revenue in their business, I've included a link to a detailed research report produced by Forrester in collaboration with Equal Experts. In that research, improved time to market is identified as one of the key drivers of this enormous profit growth, and you build it, you run it is one of the key drivers of improving time to market. The take-home message is this: in certain situations, if you're working in an ops run it model, you might be depriving yourself of enormous value. So let's unpack another reason why that may be the case. Ops run it involves an overly strict change management process, which causes delays for releases and costs you in unrealized value. In Ops Run It, you have the delivery team building the software, and they will hand whatever they've built off to a second team, which is effectively a change management function for the organisation, before that second team will approve things for production. Once approved, often that is pushed to a third team, which is your application support team, and they're responsible for releasing that into the production environment. Sometimes that's even pushed to a fourth team, which is then responsible for your incident management and your run of your service. If we look at the inherent motivation of these teams, we can assume that at least two, maybe even three, are solely motivated by the availability of the system, being change management and operations, and not by how many new features they deliver. This is because they have a natural risk aversion to updating the system, and they have availability targets to meet. They're not judged on how many innovative or valuable new features they deliver to their customers, which is problematic for your customers and for your organisation. To protect against compromising their availability KPIs, these teams will put a lot of time-consuming change management processes in place. One example of these processes that I frequently see is the Change Acceptance Board, or CAB. You'll typically attend these meetings to run through a checklist, spending time ticking off things like, yes, we've done unit testing, yes, we've done functional testing, yes, we've done performance testing, and so on. CAB meetings are often implemented as a strategy to mitigate risk. And in regulatory environments, there's also the requirement for separation of duties. The impulse behind separation of duties is valid. We should have more than one set of eyes on a change to ensure it's safe before it goes to production. So organisations immediately implement CAB meetings in response to this requirement, and they immediately split the teams into delivery and operations because then there's a clear handoff point. But this is a slow and time-consuming process and prevents you from innovating rapidly at scale. But with you build it, you run it, there is a better way. So how is you build it, you run it different? Well, in you build it, you run it, there are no handoffs between teams. Remember, the team who builds the software is responsible for deploying the software and for the operations and run of the software. This eliminates the need for those time-consuming handoffs and the approvals process. So how do we then accommodate that requirement for separation of duties? Well, there are three main ways, and you can implement all of them in conjunction. Firstly, you carry out XP practices, like pair programming and continuous integration, which involve more than one person. Secondly, you write automation tests. These automation tests are the things that you write first as a delivery team, and they're vetted and validated. And from that point on, all subsequent code is written to match the automation tests. This process is known as test-driven development. That then provides objective proof that the code is highly available. Thirdly, you can engage a platform team to build a paved road for you. Well, a paved road is an easy-to-use, robust and reliable interface or process that will allow developers to build, deploy, run and operate their software. The purpose of a paved road is to abstract that complexity away from the common daily operations, enabling the delivery team to focus on delivering value. Automated deployment processes and service alerts are examples of a paved road. A platform team will manage all of the paved roads, which multiple teams working in a you build it, you run it model can then use. When you have a paved road which automates deployments, it's the platform team who has built the capability to deploy, not the you build it, you run it team. This means there's a clear separation of duty, and the platform team has implemented all the necessary checks and balances for that aspect of the process. When you've validated all your paved roads, and those processes will be replicated through automation, then there's no need for the time-consuming change management or approvals function like CAB meetings every single time you want to deploy a change. Your team can then invest all of their time and energy into understanding the features your customers want and need, and building and deploying those features. Also learning how customers use what they've built, and then repeating the process rapidly to deliver far more value in a much shorter time window. When you implement you build it, you run it, you can eliminate unproductive and unnecessary strict change management processes. And there's no trade-off. You still ensure everything you build is highly available with high quality code, and then that aligns with regulatory requirements like separation of duties. So if you found this valuable, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share it around your network, or get in touch with me via the comments. And be sure to check back in for more insights into unlocking value with you build it, you run it. See you next time for the final part of this time to market focused video series.